agreed that it aims of redefining the role of government, introducing competition in the local crude oil market so as to attract the needed capital to enhance exploration, production, distribution, and marketing are in line with the global best practice in the petroleum industry. I further agree that failure to pass this bill this time will encourage investors to move out, as they are already doing, from Nigeria into Burkina Faso, Ghana, Angola, and other African countries where oil is discovered. Mr. Speaker, I further agree that the present corruption in the petroleum sector will continue even more aggressively if reforms are not done now. However, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I totally disagree that this bill should be passed the way it is. Amendments must be done in the areas of powers of the minister, measurement of production, unbundling the NNPC itself, that is Section 120 to Section 169, petroleum host community funds, downstream licenses, downstream petroleum, upstream petroleum, and revenue losses. Mr. Speaker, quickly, if we look at the powers of the minister, indeed, the greatest hurdle that stalled the passage of the former PIB by the Fifth Assembly was the powers conferred on the minister. Mr. Speaker, this PIB 2012, so much powers have been conferred on the minister, and this has been made worse in its discretionary and arbitrary form, as stated in Section 6, subsection G and H. Mr. Speaker, permit me to read it out. The minister,
please proceed.
Section 6, subsection 1G says the minister shall, upon the advice of the inspectorate, grant, amend, renew, extend, or revoke upstream petroleum licenses and leases pursuant to the provision of this Act. Who is this inspectorate? Who is this inspectorate, Mr. Speaker, that will advise the minister? These are the upstream petroleum inspectors, which will be chaired by the honorable minister. Mr. Speaker, Section 6, subsection 1H said the minister shall, upon the advice of the agency, grant, amend, renew, extend, or revoke downstream petroleum licenses for gas transportation pipelines, gas distribution network, refineries, LNG and GTL plants, petrochemical plants, and gas exports. This agency is the downstream petroleum regulatory agency that will be chaired again by the minister. Honorable Speaker, the most worrisome provision is even subsection K of Section 6. Permit me to read it out, Mr. Speaker. The minister shall do all such other things as are incidental and necessary to the performance of the functions of the minister under this Act. Mr. Speaker, to me, honorable colleagues, this is an open test for any sitting minister to do as desire, to do as wishes, and any day, anytime can defend one action so long as this subsection K still remain in this PIB. Honorable Speaker, it cannot be recommended to leave such an important revenue source of Nigeria for political manipulation, because if that is done, the desire to create a conducive atmosphere, the desire to create a conducive environment for the players in this section will certainly fail. Successful petroleum industries like the Brazil Petrobras, the Saudi Arabia's Aramco, and the Malaysian Petronas do not leave such doors open, as successful as they are. Honorable Speaker, additionally, this PIB appears to introduce open, transparent, and competitive oil bid rounds in order to discourage discretionary award of oil blocks, as stated in Section 190, subsection 1 and 3. Mr. Speaker, permit me to read out this section. 190, subsection 1 and 3. Process award. The grant of petroleum prospecting licenses or petroleum mining lease not derived from a petroleum prospecting licenses in respect of any territory in under or upon the territory of Nigeria shall be by open, transparent, and competitive bidding process conducted by the Inspectorate pursuant to the provision of the subsection 2 of this section. Then subsection 3 said, there shall be no grant of discretionary award. Then it quickly now said, except as provided under section 191 of this Act. Mr. Speaker, Mr. President is empowered to grant leases and licenses as stated in section 191 under special circumstances, which is contrary to what section 190 has just stated. Permit me to read it out, Mr. Speaker. Section 191, powers of the President to grant leases, licenses and leases in special circumstances. Notwithstanding the provisions of subsection 3 of section 190 or any other provision of this Act, the President shall have the power to grant a license or lease under this Act. Mr. Speaker, these special circumstances is not defined in the whole of this PIB. So it is so clear that this is a clear endorsement for discretionary award of oil block by any sitting president. This has to be looked into critically. Unbundling the NNPC itself, Mr. Speaker, section 120 to section 169. Mr. Speaker, privatizing only pieces of the NNPC and leaving its significant assets into 100% government-owned companies will certainly be a confusing strategy. If I understand this PIB 2012 bill very well, its goal is to create Nigerian oil companies similar to that of Petrobras, Petronas, and even Statoil, whose presence is in over 30 countries worldwide. But even those ones are not patterned in this way. Mr. Speaker, the Oil and Gas Implementation Committee policy framework, which was endorsed by the Federal Executive Council during President Olusegun Obasanjo, and for which the initial PIB was submitted to the National Assembly.
Order.
One, a very strong national oil company, a strong independent regulator, and a strong policy secretariat. This is in contrast to give enhanced and discretionary power to the minister who will chair those institutions. Mr. Speaker, by breaking the NNPC into 3 weeks different, by breaking...
My dear colleagues, it does appear to me that Honorable Aisha had done a wonderful, detailed research on this bill. Why don't we listen to her, please? Honorable Aisha, kindly summarize. It's clear you've done detailed research on it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
It's not an issue of showing.
By breaking the NNPC into 3 weak companies, that is the National Oil Company, the Asset Management Company, and the National Gas Company, definitely this PIB 2012 negates all these important principles. Mr. Speaker, the key to a successful national oil company is to incorporate the whole of the NNPC and then partially privatize it, as it was contemplated by the government, by both the government memorandum and the House Bill 159. Because under this present arrangement of this PIB 2012, it will result in the inability of this company to carry out their assigned functions due to the fact that they are not independent of the control of the minister, who will chair their respective boards, and under whose office they will be receiving funding. Mr. Speaker, measurement of production. World over, petroleum industry is divided into 3 segments. Upstream, which deals with the exploration, exploitation, and the production of crude oil. Midstream deals with the refining of this crude oil to finished product, while the downstream deals with the marketing, distribution, and sale of this finished product to the end consumer. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, very few countries recognizing 2 segments, up and downstream. In the whole of this, it recognizes only upstream and down, opposed to the international standard of measuring oil and gas product at the point of production, Mr. Speaker, open ways for corporate organizations to divert and steal oil, do price fixing scams, engage in pilfering and the like. And this is where we are having one of the greatest challenges, because hundreds of billions of dollars have been lost over the years due to incorrect calculation of royalties resulting from the practice of measuring our oil at the point of sale rather than at the point of production. Honorable Speaker, with these days, gap is created. Somebody has to account for what is happening in this gap. Otherwise, Nigeria will never get its planning right, nor the Ministry of Finance will never get its budget right, or the National Assembly will run away from conflicting with the Ministry of with the body when budget is being defended. Mr. Speaker, Petroleum Host Community Fund, the manner in which the 10% after-tax profit goes to the host community, Mr. Speaker, as stated in Section 118, subsection 6, permit me to read it out. The Minister shall, subject to the provisions of Section 8 of this Act, makes regulations on entitlement, governance, and management structure with respect to the Petroleum Host Community Fund established under this Act. Mr. Speaker, we can all see that this clearly opens doors in principle to significant political interference and a possible non-transparency. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, depending on a fluctuating after-tax oil price movement to pay host communities, it will be very difficult for the host community to plan. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, regardless of the amount realized from other non-oil natural resources, they require equitable treatment. That is, if you are given 10% to oil-producing states, you should equally give 10% to the non-oil mineral producing states, depending on the production from their area. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, care must be taken to spell it out clearly in this bill that the Petroleum Host Community Fund should not be used to replace the existing government program for investment in infrastructure, because we already know that those states, they have their 30% derivation, they have their budget, because once this bill is stretching, it will be so amazing to the amount that will be going to this state. So it should be an addition. Honorable Speaker, respected honorable colleagues, downstream licenses. Section 206 in general makes it simpler and a detailed procedure that is of advantage to the broad procedure of licenses. But it's still not clear in the whole of this bill what process the agency will follow to approve and grant license for a project, or what license will be required for what type of activity, because petroleum industry is very vast. There are so many activities. Example, the gas processing facility, the gas pipeline to power plant, and so many others. Do we need just one license? It is not stated, nothing is said about it here. Honorable Speaker, revenue laws. Under this bill, extra royalties do not exist. Therefore, oil and gas companies may earn windfall if oil and gas prices will increase to high levels. Because the progressive royalties mentioned in the objective of this bill, that is Section 1, subsection B, permit me to read, establish a progressive fiscal framework that encourages further investment in the petroleum industry while optimizing revenues accruing to the government. Mr. Speaker, is only mentioned in the objective. Nothing has been said about it. Nigeria is losing huge amounts of money. Respected honorable colleagues, the removal of electronic management information system in the government memoranda will hamper the access or availability of physical and non-physical data in which the government officials involved in revenue collection, auditing, and supervision could link up to the real time. This will affect transparency in revenue collection. It will also affect Ministry of Finance in carrying out their revenue collection forecasting. Honorable Speaker, the most important aspect is even the lack of provision for fees, rental and royalties in the whole of this bill, leaving it to be determined by the regulations by the minister. Mr. Speaker, it's not done anywhere in the whole world. This will continue to result in the loss of huge amounts of money to Nigerian economy. Honorable Speaker, in order to create